As some of you might know, Shiranui has been kind of like blowing up the format for a while, and then they restricted it. It got restricted in the Japanese format. They said no to the Shoujo Doji Rad line. They said no Dragon Empire OT in Shiranui either. And a lot of people, they said, that's it, it's over, pack it up. Shiranui's done and dusted, no more Shiranui. But actually, that wasn't quite the case, as we got to see through the WGP Singapore in top 8. There was a whole 3 Shiranui players that made it, and in today's video we're going to take a look at one of these top 8 matches to see the Shiranui perform. It's been doing pretty well everywhere in the world. It got its tops in Singapore, got its tops in Indo, it got its tops in, of course, Japan as well. So it's been doing pretty good. It's been doing pretty good so far, despite the restrictions. Of course, a lot more balanced now, so that's good. All right, let's get into it. It's time. This is going to be, I believe, on the left should be the Shiranui player, and on the right, I'm actually not too sure what the player on the right is playing. It was Eva, I believe, right? This was one of the top Eva players. All right, so they're still shuffling up. We can skip through this. We'll have enough small talk to do as they play out their rounds and decide who goes first. All right, we're gonna see the opening mulligans here, drawing 5. So of course, I like that everything is on good procedures, right? Always make sure chooser goes first, and then you do your mulligan after you know who goes first. Especially now in Vanguard, you get to actually, choose who goes first after winning dice roll. The Shiranui player is a local shop owner. Oh, which shop? Which shop does he run? That's cool. So yeah, we got the Raika sleeves. Surely he's playing Burke. We're gonna find out. But that's cool, dude. When you're a shop owner and you can top 8 at WGP, it's pretty good. Sentinel Gaming. I've heard about Sentinel Games. Sentinel Games I've definitely heard about before. That's it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's Glorious Reigning Dragon, GRD from back in the day on the Eva deck. It's pretty cool with the Suo energy cards. We're gonna see it. All right, they shuffled up and I was ready to go. Let's get into it. Shiranui looking to be the one going first, which is Eva. Obviously, like we've been having a discussion with my teammates. Eva going first is tier 1, going second like tier 1.5, sometimes 2 depending on the matchup. So Eva going second really depends on how much of the Imigrar that you open. That is of course the new promo that really helps to support the deck. Dropping a crit is pretty rare. Dropping triggers for ride deck is something I try to avoid at all costs, especially against decks that now that Shiranui doesn't really establish as much of an early board anymore. All right, quick little price check. Going through the deck there, checking everything in the deck. Price check. Finds the Kaiju research orders. Of course, this is the, if you've not been keeping up with my streams, I play a lot of Eva on these streams, but you usually like to set the grade 1 research is usually these days the Kaiju one if you have not seen Imigrar yet, because of course the new promo is a Kaiju. So this order lets you reveal the top 5 cards of the deck, and then OT still in deck. All right, no Kaiju targets. We saw Poison in Paradise, Grade 3 Obfuscate, OT. It was a crit. So unfortunately, you don't get to add anything. But if you do find Kaijus, you can choose up to 1 added to your hand and 1 sent to drop. So in best case scenarios, usually you run the Kaiju PG now in Eva, so you get to add the PG to hand and discard the promo to call it out next turn, which is really, really good. But if you don't see the promo, your turn 1 is a little sad here. Oh, all right. So we're seeing here, we're declumping. Oh no, did he? That's fine. All right. Oh, we see the crit though. That's okay. No early rush means it's not all over. We see a front, and then, all right. I like that the guy's like, okay, don't forget to add the power, just in case you get a random Blaster Blade TV Superior right out of nowhere. You gotta have that defensive power. So, okay, this is where Shiranui changes. So now no more Shoujo Doji Grade 2. What does Shiranui do on turn 2 now? Now, I also have not really been facing too much Shiranui after the restriction either. Somehow I keep dodging it in tournaments, or people don't really bring it to shop tournaments too much, and I've only been playing I only played a couple CSs and I didn't run into Shiranui. I keep running into Faded 1 decks instead. All right. Ooh, this is a order Shiranui list. So we see the Her name's Latifah, I believe. Oh, just right swing. No grade 2 turn. No grade 2 push. Does hit the front. That's a 20k shield. It's going to be important. This game's going to go long. Against Eva, you plan to play the long game, and fronts are really good in this current format as well. So that's very, very important. So this is Order Nui, but it's not E-Girl Bathwater Shiranui. I see. Very interesting. We're going to see Combined Rusher Ditch. That's good. You get a bit of an early rush. And I'm curious what his order search is going to be here. It's going to be the grade 3 research lab. So, all right. Just asking to shuffle here after the search. But I think we did see the drive check, or the draw for, I think the draw from going second found the other Kaiju grade 1 order. So high chance that might be the set, because setting, so there, it comes down to deck building perspective. Personally speaking, I do find the grade 1 research is very important because of the fact that once you see a combined rusher, you want to actually just like be able to reuse it all the time. We do find a Kaiju target off the top there, so managed to find the Wavy Loss. Wavy Loss, of course, is an on-play Soul Blast to draw one, but you can now call out the combined rusher from drop and then put a Wavy Loss behind it, 18k column, and also you're drawing a card, which is also nice. So pretty good. So barbecue order Shiranui. Oh, right. So I like the barbecue order Shiranui. That one is it's like everyone thought it was a Gendio order. It's the common order from Divine Set 1. So we see the Wavy Loss come down here, drawing one. I really like Wavy Loss because it converts you into a card. And that way you have good board presence. It's also not a bad dominate target because, of course, thanks to the rad line change for Shiranui, you know you're getting your stuff dominated. So there's no point playing around the, empty board stuff anymore. So if you leave a grade 1 on board, it's not too bad. It's not the end of the world anymore. Gonna take that first attack. So I find it interesting that, 18k chose to swing, try to bait out a shield, but here now Eva was already like, 15k for no pass, but now Latifah is gonna just make it a no pass. But we do find the Imigrar, so that's very important. If Eva doesn't see the promo, it is very tough, but you have a lot of different ways to dig for it, right? So he went for the hard route, went for double Kaiju research in order to look at top 5 twice, didn't find it there, and then you still have a chance to top 5 with the blue research lab, and then also still look at top cards of your deck with the Eva as well. So that way you have a lot of chances to find it, but then if you still don't, it's pretty tough. So we're gonna see here the Shiranui player. Yeah, 2 Latifah's gone. We did guard with one of them, so there's a chance there is one in hand. So we're gonna see the Genkai here call itself out. Oh, and the order goes to Soul. All right, that is the barbecue order. That, of course, if I'm not mistaken, it says if you've retired something, lets you get that top deck call. If I'm not mistaken, I'll pop it up on screen for YouTube. You guys can read it. But we see here the ladder came down. It's Misty Arc Habitat. Right. Does it require you to retire something that turn though? I feel like it did. It might be mistaken though. Instead of top 7, you check equal to open rear guard circles. Oh, I see. Okay, so here we see the Shiranui is just swinging. Look at how damaged Shiranui's early game has become. Oh, if you retire something, the cold thing gets +5. I see. So in Shiranui, that doesn't really matter. All right, no guard. Another front. That's the 3rd front we've seen. So really good for Shiranui's defenses. And another, okay, Latifah came back. So I really like that the Shiranui player went for rear instead of Vanguard, because this shuts down Eva's search effect. So that basically shuts down one of their pluses on the very early part of the game. Here, of course, we're going to see the Imigrar going to get discarded because, of course, Imigrar's effect is when you set a research card, you get to pay Energy Blast 3 to call it back, and it gets +2k. And then when it's on rearguard circle, you can send it to Soul to ride Poison Paradise Eva from your deck. And then as long as you haven't ridden this turn, you can activate Persona Road. But because you rode this turn, then you can't. So let's see it. We're going to probably set the... All right, we're actually searching. I like this. You've already seen your pieces. Oh, but does that mean he's seen that many Obscudates? I'd turn 3 set blue research lab if I've not seen that many Obscudates, because setting up the crit pressure is still very important, but from your rears, unless he plays like a higher count of grade 2 Obscudate, that kind of is like all over the place with the lists. But let's see here, this is the correct play, by the way. You don't want to use your extra power that you just called from the drop. promo, you want to use the one without the bonus power. Ride into Poison in Paradise Eva. There's no point to shuffle here. Don't shuffle. Why are you shuffling? You have to search a research card right now. There's no need to cut. You're gonna time out. You can't. Always skip this step, please. Like, you see this? You see this? Skip this step. Eva players, please. You will lose to time. You have 25 minutes only. No, you don't Persona first. You have the sequencing goes. Order. You got the promo into Soul. Ride Poison in Paradise. Poison in Paradise effect lets you search out a research card, and then you are allowed to Persona Blast. This is very, very important. You search first and then activate Persona. So yeah, that's... Oh, did the judges ask him to do the shuffle? That's strange, because it's like in any other card game, you just say, oh, I'm going back in. It's like in any other card game, you just say, I'm going back in, and that's it. Okay, so this is another thing with, so this kind of telegraph that he had the Wavy Loss in hand, and basically, you know, if you don't have Blue Research Lab, you cannot Soul Blast out your Imigrar back out. So it's not as big of a deal. Oh, okay, he really has a lot of Obscurate in hand, so I guess that's probably why. Judges didn't allow Maigo to search grade 1 Song going first, turn 1-2 in Top Cut. Oh, okay. I guess the judges are just being very, very, like, very tough about that point, so. Alright. It is what it is. I wish the same judges would have spotted the Varga not retiring the grade 2 from the Fennel game. But that's just on the side there. Alright, so we see here it's gonna be a 15k swing from the Obscurate, asking for a 5k shield, trying to get pieces out of the hand too. So drops the third Latifa. We're really not playing Latifa here. So now Eva, this Eva swing is pretty big. So of course on swing you can bind the original Eva and then call out Obscurate from hand, drop, or deck. So you can call it out from deck. Most likely gonna call, of course, the grade 3 one to get the extra crit here. And then this is actually pretty huge because she gives herself and the Obscurate plus 5k, right? So the Obscurate on its own is already 28, but with the Wavy Loss, it's a 41k column, which if you're going first, you are swinging 41k on a 10k body. But even on a 13k, right, you're asking them for a 30k shield, you're asking out a lot of cards from their hand. So this Eva is also swinging at a pretty good power. She's 18k herself, you know, so she gets to get to 31 with the Twin Drive threat as well. 2 blanks despite the relatively big deck thinning. So now this is interesting where you do have the crit pressure here, so you're asking for a 30k shield here, they're stuck at 4 damage. So if I'm the Eva player, I'm pretty happy. I've managed to push the Shinnly player pretty hard. And now you're not really that worried about, you know, not too worried about the actual, you know, having to push in the damage later, right? Unless they heal down to like 2 or something because you're at 1. So let's see here. Word of this power counter placement, grade 3 ops gains 10k on attack. My miscounted OT checked. Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so we see the push went all the way to 5. So that way if the Shinnly player here triple drives, like double heals, you know, they're on 3 instead of 2. So that's also good. That's something you have to keep in mind if your opponent's damage denying you as an Eva player and you're still pushing the offensive, is that you are not going to be seeing your heals. And on their side, if they haven't seen that many, you have to kind of assume the worst case scenario that all of your aggression might have to be undone. So do keep that in mind. All right, so you grab the grade 0 Eva here. So that's going to get called out by the Dominate, and the Imigrar is going to put the drop there. And then we're going to ditch for Stride. Ditches the Esperladia. So I'm going to be going into our first Stride. But yeah, that was, Chad is giving us all kinds of inside information about how this event went down. Judges not letting people charge energy after forgetting it. I thought the rule said that if you forget to charge energy, you're supposed to still do it. Like, it has to be caught up, even at high stakes. It's kind of strange, but let's let's put that aside for now. So this is the logical thing, right? A little strange, but again, each venue, each event has their own judges with their own discretion. As a player myself, I just hope that their rulings can be, you know, uniform across all events. That would be the optimal case scenario. But we're gonna see the Obscurate here get dominated. So it's gonna be It's kind of annoying. It's, you know, asking for 10k shield. And it always, this is usually what Shidowne players do. They will make your upgrades take each other out. So you're losing out on your 10k shields basically. So that's the only downside. So the Genkai here will activate. So this is of course a new technology, a new technology for Shidowne. So the other important interaction is that the grade 1 EVA research order, it protects your rear guards from being retired by your opponent's effects. The problem is that when your upgrade is dominated, it is not your rear guard. So that is that's a bit unfortunate. It still gets retired. The technology 20k swings into Vanguard. Damn, triple blanks. And we see a 1 damage go to Eva. Now I'm curious if the Shidowne player will just pass. But at this point, you get to shut down you get to shut down Combine Rusher. You tell them to choose between Combine Rusher and Eva skill, but the problem is that what then happens is that they Combine Rusher, you set an order, and then your henceforth is live, so you can countercharge. So even the Eva player is like, I'm fine with being at 2. That's no problem, dude. No problem. So at this point, he's gonna take turn, energy charge, set blue research lab, I think. I do believe grade 0 Eva has to retire at the end of turn. Strides have to go back. There we go. Clean up the board state. And now we're gonna get to see what's going to be cooking up next. Energy charge 3 here. And we get to see, damn, everyone's dropping to get lunch during the tournament. So 2 cards active in the drop. There should be a Combine Rusher also part of the active pool. So I do like to do this as well, especially once I set the order. I set aside what can go active. So in the case of the Eva player here, I do think you are going to be calling the Combine Rusher because you want to go for the 4 attacks. First, of course, resolve the blue research lab. If you can find an upgrade off of this top 5, that is pretty huge. We do find a grade 2. That's actually quite good. In terms of call placement, so let me pause this for a second. So you do have a few things to consider here, right? So if you want to call the upgrade here, it is going to be, you're going to be on Persona this turn. So it's going to be 25, 33, 38. That's asking for, you know, it's going to take this out, ask for 215Ks too. You're going to call the Combine Rusher out here. There's going to be a Secondal here, but that Secondal is going to go into the Soul. So the problem is that then the Secondal is solo swinging. I mean, not the Secondal, not the Secondal. You're going to use the Imigrar, go to Soul, ride the thing. But the problem is that then your Combine Rusher is a solo swinging 30k. So there's a chance that you might want to potentially switch the positions. It also depends on the attack order, right? So if you want to just do Obscadade, Combine Rusher, and then grade 3 Obscadade over the Combine Rusher for maximum amount of shield on board, that is an option. But then the problem is that the grade 3 Obscadade will get dominated and probably swing into the other Obscadade, so the shields get shut down anyway. So even this call placement is something that I consider interesting, because you can assume that this is going to get replaced by something, but there's probably not more wavy losses. So then it comes down to what you're going to call. Do you have another one of these in the drop? You can only really call one of them out here, so it's going to come down to that. You're not going to replace one of your wavy losses because they provide more power than the Imigrars do. So let's see. We called the Obscadade to the empty column, and so now maybe there's a chance that he doesn't use the Combine Rusher, but I do think you do want to. That way you get to save on calling out an attacker. So we're going to see the cut and shuffle, and the CB1 is really trying to pay that CB1. You got to pay, of course, the energy for the... I mean, you can choose the order you want to resolve it in. So we see the call. Ooh, gonna do it twice. Hasn't committed to it. Still thinking about it. Gonna use the Combine Rusher. All right. All right. So it just clumped up the energies together. Goes for the bluff. And now you can use the henceforth here to countercharge that damage. Get back an Obscadade from your drop. That, of course, got dominated last turn. And then use Eva's Act skill. So only gets to look at top 3 instead of top 4. Not the biggest difference maker, but you do get to potentially add, you know, you can find a PG off of this. You haven't really, I don't think our Eva players found any PGs yet, so added a card. You don't have to show it as always for Eva. Gets the plus 5k, and then just going to immediately use the Imigrar before the judge even has a chance to put the 5k counter on. Poison in Paradise, and immediately, you see this? Please. Persona Ride is not active yet. He hasn't activated Persona Ride yet. The judge is going a bit ahead of schedule here. You get to search research first. There we go. Didn't force the shuffle. Thank you very much. You get to skip that step. Again, if it means I'm going to time out and both players are going to lose, I mean, in Top Cut, that doesn't happen, but in in Top Cut you do go to turns of time. So I still want to be playing my deck at maximum efficiency and using the time as most efficiently as possible. If you're an aspiring EVA player, please be careful with time. Like, try to learn how to shuffle efficiently but faster. So don't take your time like doing a bunch of shuffles. Think quickly, make decisions quickly. There's a lot of small decisions to make in EVA now. Like even as I talked about earlier, the placements, like now, especially like the battle phase going into this, right? This is going to be kind of interesting because I think the 5k is going to go, okay, it goes to Vanguard. So basically this line here, this is 23, 28 on her own. So she's going to be a 41k, but he chose to commit 5k more power. So 41, you know, I guess for a Shidane player, you can technically, we saw like what, 2 fronts in hand, so that can put him to 53. So that would be a 2 to pass, judging on what is in the hand of the Shidane player. So instead, you can give the extra 5k to the Eva. This puts it to 46. So now 2 fronts are no longer 2 to pass. So just like a small read basically on the Eva player side, which I think is pretty smart. You could also have put that to the Obscurate instead, but instead here what you're going to see is that the Obscurate is going to be, of course, has his own plus 5k here. There we go. And goes for the Seconda Loki, going to put the Eva back. So this might mean that I'm not sure if we're going to see a call from the deck here, because oftentimes you don't want to call from deck, shuffle, and then accidentally shuffle up the Poison and Paradise back up to the top of your deck. So we're going to swing first with the Obscurate to front row. So this is going to be a 33k swing. Ooh, okay. CBU1 don't have enough energy, it seems. Oh! Finds the Farhad over the Farhad. So this is, of course, the Gun Cycler into the Gun Cycler. So you're going to need another 20k shield, but wants to drop that front now that the Eva is asking for more than just the front. And don't forget, of course, the grade 2 in the front is going to get retired too. So Combined Rush are going to swing in next. So this is going to be an extra plus 10k as well. 43k swing. This is going to melt the shit on your hand. So Eva, of course, pushing in with high aggression. And so I do agree with committing the boost here. You could have made an argument. It's like, okay, 30k Combined Rush sounds pretty good. But again, we've seen the fronts. I think there's still a front left in the hand of the Shidane player. So you want to commit that boost to make it so that, you know, that one front is not enough to guard. Asking for 2 cards as much as possible. And we might see the second Gun Cycler get committed here too. Might even commit, I mean, has to commit the CB for it in this case. So let's see. But yeah, we have mid hat, far hat. We need a close hat in Dragon Empire next. Oh, there we go. Is going to be using the, ooh, has to return them from the soul. That's a bit unfortunate. So gonna get basically 20k shield from that alone. It's basically a front. The cat putting in work. And then of course with the extra 15k that is going to be enough. So guarding with exactly enough. It's good. Eva skill. Calls from deck. All right. I don't like using Secondal early for this reason. No, he doesn't even call. He just shuffles. No, that's even worse. Sorry, Eva players, don't do this. If you don't have a reason to shuffle and you're going to call from drop anyway, and you put the Poison and Paradise to bot deck, don't shuffle it up. You might drive check it. That completely defeats the point of using Secondal. Please be careful. I understand it's top 8, nerves, etc., but I feel like even at a high stakes position, this is something that, like, if you really want to take Eva to tournaments, I really want you to, like, compression is everything for Eva. She lives and dies by compression. Look at this, OT for 2 to pass. Sees the crit, all right. Maybe I'm saying nonsense. Maybe they're gonna just commit the Assault to Vanguard and it's gonna go crazy, but I mean, we have a 38k Obscurate here, so it's not asking for too much shield, so it's actually gonna commit crit power to Vanguard. Second check. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Literally, what did I tell you? I told you, don't, if you're not gonna call from deck, do not shuffle the Poison in Paradise. Chat, now you know. Dear viewers, you've learned. You've leveled up as an Eva player. I gave you the math problem and I gave you the example, right? This is the Monado's power. So I think, again, keep that in mind. You really want to be careful with how you use your Secondal, and that's why I only play 1 Secondal in the deck too, because there's only one timing to use it, and that is when you're no longer shuffling. You're no longer trying to look through the deck anymore. So just a small thing to think about, okay? Rewatched? No. Genuinely no. Alright, we're gonna see the Dominate on the Eva. replacing the Secondal. So this is also good. This is the DF equivalent of the Team Samurai X1 gif. Did they use Eva's Act? Yeah, they did. So if they returned, no, but the thing is, they use Eva's Act, and then you use the Imigrar to ride the Poison in Paradise from deck, add the research, and then you shuffle anyway. So if you send any triggers to the bottom, you're still shuffling from the promo's effect. So you don't, if you use Secondal, usually it's after all other shuffles are done, so you can bot deck the Poison in Paradise and you don't have to drive check it. So it's just a small thing. It's a very small thing, but it's just like, if you're playing another deck that's more aggressive, like Varga, for example, and like you don't particularly like compress, it doesn't matter as much. But when you're playing a deck whose win con is compression, it's very important. But anyway, shouldn't player here, hand is tiny, only has one restanding rear guard. This is like Eva's basically showing her the power of the past, right? I was the best deck in format before you came. Actually, not really. She had to step down for Gandiva actually, but and some other decks like Besh and Accord and other things. So we see the Eva player going to 3 here. Magun Tembu swinging in. It's gonna be Soul Blasting 1 to get the restand. And ooh, Sanctitude doesn't even matter. First check, nothing. Let's see what the Shunni player can find. Needs a heal here, honestly. Farhat, PG. That's not enough. 4 cards in hand. That's actually pretty unfortunate. You just swing rear here. You basically, so the reason why I swing rear here is that you don't know if there is a henceforth in hand, and because of that, that would mean that they have to obviously, like, they set CB1 for Combine Rusher, and now if they set anything that isn't a henceforth, they can't use Eva's main phase skill anymore. So it's actually, again, the Shunrei player, it's like, you're not healing, you're not finding like a way out of the situation, but you're still playing to your outs, and that's what I respect. But the Eva player does have the henceforth, that is really huge. This will allow the Eva player to use Combine Rusher first, and of course also, I mean, has quite a lot of energy to use for double Imigrar as well. So we're gonna see Energy Blast 3 here. Checking the hand real quick. Oh yeah, they did search you from Poison in Paradise, you're right. So sorry, I was so focused on that Secondal turn, I got lost in the sauce. So we're gonna see here, double, there we go, Energy Blast again, double Imigrar, and then CBE1, we call the Combine Rusher there as well. Eat this Pipe Swing. And then we're gonna just use the henceforth, countercharge 1 and get back the Obscudade. So don't forget to countercharge, he's gonna just immediately use the CB to use it for Eva skill. So only looking at top 3 this game. I mean, the Shunrei player is just like also these like small little bits and bobs of damage that are coming down also prevent Eva from, you know, looking at too much, right? So if they've compressed, sometimes it's like you need a top 4, top 5 look to hit something that's not a trigger to continue the compression. Otherwise, you're decompressing yourself. So that's something that's pretty important. This board's so messy. I mean, it's a high intensity top 8 situation. It happens. OT to bottom, yeah. So that's, again, you see here, search or research if there is any left. At this point, usually goes down a little bit, but still had one. And now you get to proc Persona Ride, and you're able to, of course, get yourself that extra draw from the Persona. And then, I mean, you got back a Obscudade from drop from the henceforth, so therefore, you get yourself an extra attacker if you need it. And of course, with Shirune being at, so the interesting thing is that Shirune is at 5. So there's a chance that they can just like, so they guarded with OT already, so you know there's no defensive OT, but if you want to avoid 6 damage heal, just swinging Vanguard here is fine. You don't have to go for the 4 attacks. You know they have a PG in hand, so they're going to PG the Vanguard anyway, but what they could do here is if you swing 4 times and you start with a Combine Rusher, they're going to take that, and then they're going to be able to potentially hit a defensive heal. So if they do that, that might make it possible for them to guard. Again, this hand does not look like it is going to be capable of that, but if you want to, like if you're super compressed and you have a lot of like crits left in deck, then you can actually just go for the 3 swings and play into just like, you know, 2 crit rear Obscudade, and then you have the risk of Vanguard just critting you for game and putting a crit on the 1 rear that doesn't have a crit. So that's just food for thought. I don't think that's the correct play here, but you know, the situations where your opponent's at 5 and it's like you're not sure. Yeah, you can also just swing rear with a Combine Rusher too, so that way you don't even commit the boost. So the card you'll call will get the boost instead. So now, I think for the Shidone player, you have to take this. And if you hit a heal, you're happy. And they do. Like I said, that's what I meant. Like, this is, the Shidone player's out is hitting this heal. And now it's like, worst case scenario. So they have, what, 4 cards in hand. And you know one of them is a PG. So, let's see. What is... I'm curious what the guard order is like. Because they have... The thing is that they also have a Guncycler. That could find another PG. But then you're not going to be using that on this battle. So you probably want to save that for a rear swing. But the problem is, like, Obfuscate you call is 38. The other column Obfuscate is also 48. So it's not exactly the easiest attacks to guard either. So alright, we see the shuffle. Call the Obfuscate from drop. It's gonna get the crit. And oh. Nope, choosing to go for the grade 2. Alright. So not putting up any crit pressure. So that also invites the Shidone player to potentially actually just intercept away at this timing and just leave up a 1 to pass. So they're at 23. The Eva is at okay, Guncycler coming in. Gonna use that energy here. Oh, nope, gonna go for the CB instead. Draws in 2. I think it's a Shidone. Drew into Shidone. So worst case, I mean, you're removing a card that might lead into a heal. So we'll see. Hey, what's up, Final Savior? You're tuning into oh, still has the PG. Didn't drop the Shidone. Wants to keep that for next strike turn. Oh, but the crit gets checked. So now one of these will be a lethal swing with a crit. And 2-card hand left. So the worst case scenario for the Eva player, this is like 2 PGs in hand, right? But then he wouldn't have guarded with a Guncycler unless he drew into one. Both sides got crits now. So again, this is what happens when like the deck is completely compressed. So obviously the Vanguard could not have been taken, and the Eva player is going to swing front row, make sure that intercept cannot do its work, take 2 damage. First check is Esper idea, and GG's. Man, that was a good game though. Like, I think for the Shidone player, didn't really get to see too much of the... I wanted to see some of that sauce of the order list, but the Eva player definitely did show what was strong about Eva in this current format too. But so that was the top 8 match from WGP Singapore. Hopefully this has helped those of you aspiring Eva players, especially, which I think is, you know, probably going to be quite a few of you, I imagine. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you want to learn more decks and more of me rambling about card decisions, then consider becoming a YouTube channel member, where you get access to me talking about all kinds of decks while playing them out in a first-person perspective with beautiful edited fights. So feel free to check that out if you are a channel member, or maybe that is what piques your interest and you get to support the channel too, which is pretty great. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.